This fourth game is something else. We are trading. Interesting. You will see that as in that last game, for example, I love using these shapes as placeholders. So you've got a type 1, a type 2, and a type 3 building. And then the trades, the rules are pretty straightforward. You can trade like for like, a circle for a circle, a square for a square, or you can trade one circle for two squares, or you can trade one square for the two triangles. So as long as we follow those rules, we're not going to have any problems with this. Question 19. What could be the buildings after only one trade is made? All right, look at these answers. A. Real Prop has Flores and Garza. How did Real Plop get both F and G after only one trade? You can't trade Y and Z for F. That's not possible. B. Real Plop, I like that better. Real Plop has G, K, and O. How did she get K and O in only one trade? She would have had to trade Y and Z for K, sure. Or for O, sure, but not for both of them. That's stupid. Answer choice C, there's no problem with. Of course, that would work. She's got G and L because she traded Y and Z for L. Done. That's our only trade, no problem. As contrasted against like answer choice D, she's got G and M and Y. How does she trade Z for M? That's not a thing. Answer choice E, Real Plop is fine, but Southco's got L and O. How does she trade F for O? The heck? See, we just follow the rules. That's all we have to do. All right, question 20. What cannot be true no matter how many trades are made? How on earth are you going to get Real Plop to have both F and G? Like, I just don't see it happening. But it's much easier to talk about how all these others can happen in like one trade each. Answer choice B. Southco gets F and M. Sure, just trade L for M. One trade, done. Southco has G and L. Sure, one trade. Swap F for G. Done. Trust Corp has F and O. No problem. Trade K and M for F. One trade, done. Trust Corp has G and M. Again, one trade. Swap out K and O for G. Done. All those things easy to do. Answer choice A, you're never going to make it happen because it can't happen. All right, question 21. If Real Prop owns only class 2 buildings after some number of trades, well, let's see what that would look like. If Real has only class 2, then maybe she traded G for 2 class 2 buildings. Maybe she traded for K and M. And then she also had to have traded Y and Z. And maybe she traded Y and Z for O. And so we've got F and L here. I mean, this is just one way we could end up with only class 2 buildings. What has to be true? Trust Corp owns a class 1. Well, that is true in this instance. Hold on to it. Trust Corp owns Meyer. No, doesn't have to. Southco owns a class 2. Well, it's true in this instance. You know, maybe Southco has to. Southco owns both of the class 3. Definitely doesn't have to be true. Southco owns Flores. Maybe. And now we've got A and B, A and C and E left. So let's see if we can make some trades. Can we get Trust Corp out of this class 1 now? Well, if we do it, we'd need either to switch with another class 1, which doesn't help us, or to switch with 2 class 2, 2 squares. But if we do with 2 squares, then Real Prop is back to having a circle. We wanted Real Prop to keep only squares. How are we going to get Trust Corp out of this? We're not going to. But once again, as with question 20, easier to see by contrast. Answer choice C. Southco owns a class 2. Does Southco have to own a class 2? No, just swap these two. And now Southco would have 2 triangles and T would have the square. Southco doesn't have to have a Class 2 building at all. Answer choice E, Southco owns the Flores. We can get out of that easy. Make that G and that F. Just swap them. Southco doesn't have to own Flores. And so the fact that we can do those other things, it makes it very clear that they are possible and they're thus not the answer. Only Trust Corp cannot possibly get out of that circle. 22, we'll do the same thing we just did. If T is going to have no Class 2 buildings after some number of trades. Well, he's got only Class 2s, so what if T swaps out 2 of those Class 2s for a circle? Again, this is one possible way in which we could end up with no Class 2s. Trades 2 of them for that circle. And then trades the other one for the 2 triangles. Right? There's one way it could go. So these 2 for this circle and this one for these triangles. And then S didn't do anything at all. Possible. Which of the following must be true? Real owns a Class 1. Definitely doesn't have to be true. South owns only Class 2. Doesn't have to be true. South has made at least one trade with Trust Corp. Doesn't have to. Trust Corp owns Garza. I don't know why. He's got to own something. It might be Garza, but maybe, he got Garza from R and then traded it to South Corp. Trust Corp owns the Zimmer house. If you're going to get T to have no squares, that means she has to have given them away for circles and triangles. It's the same thing we saw with question 21. And how are you going to get Trust Corp out of the Zimmer house? You can't. But the thing that makes it easier is to see how you can get around each of those other things. Finally, question 23 is just like question 19 in reverse, where 19 gave us 4 things that couldn't possibly be true. 23 is going to give us 1 thing that cannot possibly be true. These others are simple. We could do them all in one trade. Answer choice A. Real prop has L. Sure, let's switch Y and Z for L. Now she's got L and M and O. Sure, let's switch G for M and O. I'm sorry, I said one trade. That's not one trade, that's 2 trades. 2 trades, and real prop has got L, M, and O. Answer choice B. S has G and M. You can see how easy that is. Swap F for G, that's 1 trade. Swap L for M, that's your 2nd trade. And we have G and M. Answer choice C. Southco has K, M, and O. Trade F for K and M. Trade L for O. Done. Answer choice D. Trust Corp has F and Y. How are you going to end up with just Y? The only possible trade you can make for Y is 1 triangle for another, but we'd have to split them up somehow. And we can't ever split them up because the only other trade we can make for them is 2 of them at a time for a square. And once again, as with these others, it's much easier to see the things that we can do. Answer choice E. Trust Corp has G and L. Sure, trade K and M for G, and then trade O for L. Dunzo. And the thing is, with this game and all games, if you just follow the rules, you're going to be okay. And you have to follow them any way you want. But for me, it helps to be able to see it instead of to have to try to think it through. Because thinking it through